The Adventures of Tiny Ant and the Great Journey. In a sunny meadow near the edge of the forest, there was a bustling ant colony hidden underground. The colony was always busy, ants marching in lines, carrying crumbs and working together like a great team. Among the thousands of ants, there lived a small, curious ant named Tiny. Tiny was smaller than most of the ants in the colony, but he had the biggest imagination. While other ants were focused on collecting food or digging tunnels, Tiny loved to ask questions. Why do we walk in lines? How do we know where to go? What's outside the meadow? His questions made the older ants chuckle. One morning, the queen ant gave an important order. Winter is coming. We must gather food for the colony so everyone will have enough to eat when the snow covers the ground. Every ant hurried to work. Some carried seeds, others hauled leaves, and a few even worked together to move giant crumbs of bread left behind by a picnic. Tiny wanted to help, but he struggled to carry big pieces of food. Still, he didn't give up. Maybe I can do something different, Tiny thought. He remembered the older ants saying that food could be found far beyond the meadow. If I go on a journey, maybe I'll find something special for the colony. And so, with a brave little heart, Tiny set off. The journey begins. The first place Tiny visited was the tall sunflower patch. The flowers stretched high into the sky like golden towers. Bees buzzed happily as they collected nectar. Tiny called up to one of them. "Hello, bee! Do you know where I can find food for my colony?" The bee buzzed down kindly. "Seeds will fall from these flowers soon. Take them to your nest. They are full of energy." Tiny thanked the bee and carefully collected a few tiny seeds. But he wanted to bring even more back home, so he continued his adventure. Next, he traveled to the edge of the forest, where mushrooms grew in the shade. There he met a wise snail named Shelley. "Why are you so far from your nest, little ant?" asked Shelley. "I want to find food to help my colony for the winter," Tiny explained. Shelley smiled slowly, as snails often do. "That's very noble. Sometimes the smallest creature can bring the biggest gift. Look beneath the leaves. You might find something useful." Tiny peeked under a curled brown leaf and found crumbs from a sandwich someone had dropped. It was just the right size for him to carry. Excited, he picked up a piece and began his long walk home. Lummy the trouble in the meadow. As Tiny made his way back, he noticed the sky turning gray. Suddenly, rain began to pour. Big drops splashed on the ground like tiny puddle lakes. For Tiny, the journey became dangerous. The path was slippery, and streams of water rushed through the grass like rivers. "Oh no, how will I get home?" Tiny worried. Just then, he saw a ladybug resting under a leaf. "Quick, come under here!" the ladybug called. Tiny rushed over and sheltered from the storm. When the rain stopped, the ladybug offered, "I can help you. I'll fly above and show you the safest path back to your nest." With the ladybug's guidance, Tiny finally found his way back to the meadow. The other ants were still working hard, but when they saw Tiny carrying seeds and a sandwich crumb, they gasped. "You traveled so far and brought back new food sources," said one of the worker ants. Tiny beamed with pride. "I may be small, but I can still help in big ways." A lesson for all ants, the queen. Ant gathered the colony and spoke kindly to Tiny. "You showed us that courage and curiosity can bring great rewards. You reminded us that every ant, no matter how small, has something important to give." From that day on, Tiny wasn't just the little ant who asked questions. He was known as Tiny the Brave, the ant who taught everyone that teamwork, curiosity, and kindness could lead to wonderful discoveries. And so the ants worked together through the rest of the season. They gathered seeds, crumbs, and even bits of fruit. When winter arrived, the colony was warm, safe, and full of food. Deep inside the nest, as snowflakes danced above the meadow, Tiny smiled. He knew adventures awaited when spring returned. Moral of the story. Even the smallest ones can make the biggest difference. With curiosity, courage, and teamwork, great things can be achieved.